Have you noticed something? Have you noticed that some stocks are actually in positive territories this year? Yeah, those companies exist. Actually, there are a few of them that are recession resilient, that has strong balance sheet, that are amazing dividend growers, and they have plenty of growth vectors. Dividend investors, bonjour. My name is Mike Héroux, and today I am going to talk about Alimentation Couche-Tard, one of my favorite company, one of my largest holding in my portfolio, and one company that is trading pretty much at its all-time high. That's kind of crazy, right? Especially in the market where everything is down, that the recession is going, interest rate is going up. Well, my friend, I found the perfect company for you that will help you sleep well at night. Yes, the dividend yield is not that high, and yes, you have reasons to be concerned about the future of fuel cells. However, the company is already being proactive and they have made already some changes in their business model. If you look at this graph, you'll see that yes, most of its revenue comes from gasoline sales. However, half of its profit is coming from convenience stores products. Even better, 65% of all sales are coming from convenience stores only. So nobody went there to pay for gas and went inside. They just went inside the convenience store. That tells you Alimentation Couche-Tard has prime location across North America, across Asia, and across Europe. Another interesting thing from this graph is you can see that 2/3 of Alimentation Couche-Tard revenue is coming from the US. It means that they will benefit from a stronger US dollar going forward and not the opposite. Since it's a Canadian company, they will translate all their revenue sources into Canadian dollars at the end. So when you can see that profit and revenue is coming, most of it is coming from the US. That shows you a good balance between the expenses and the revenue coming from the same currency. And actually, this currency, it's now stronger than the Canadian dollar. One thing that I love the most about Alimentation Couche-Tard is that this company will grow no matter if the economy is doing well or not. As you can look on this graph, even during recessions, the company is still growing. So you had the dot-com bubble, you had the Great Recession with the financial crisis, and now we had the lockdown. It's proven that it was resilient during the COVID crash. And then again and again, it has this ability to, provide proximity to a lot of people, and they have their loyalty memberships. They have a lot of promotions going on. So a lot of people, they will just find it very convenient to go to convenience stores, buy a few things, and then come back home. And this is how Alimentation Couche-Tard is able to grow every single year. Another very important part when you analyze a company these days is to look at the company's balance sheet. Why? Well, interest rates are going higher, so it means that debt will become a burden for a lot of companies. Well, when you look at the debt ratio and the credit rating for Alimentation Couche-Tard, Alimentation Couche-Tard is actually stronger than ever. This means that if they do not find other convenience stores to buy and grow through acquisitions, they can sit tight, buy back some shares, and at the same time, they are incredibly solid. They don't have to pay too much in interest, and they'll be able to go through this waves of interest rate hikes without any problem. Even better, you can bet that some of those convenience stores are going to have some problems. Our companies will have problems. They will struggle. And then Couche-Tard is going to come up with a nice offer on the table, and they're going to bring back even more convenience stores under their brand. Historically, the growth from Alimentation Couche-Tard was coming mostly from acquisition. However, as the company grows, it becomes a little bit more complicated, and then sometimes acquisitions are a little bit too steep. We have seen the company backing up in a few times over the past few years on deals that they thought they were attractive, and then until the latest check has to be written and say, you know what, that's way too much for me. I rather make good acquisition and not overpay for them. So instead, they work on another plan where now the growth will come from a balance with organic growth and also growth from acquisitions. So now you're going to tell me, but Mike, 60% of the growth will come from organic ways? I mean, this seems a bit difficult to believe, or the company will not grow that much and then the percentage will just be smaller in terms of dollars, right? Well, the first thing is I was surprised, but while Couche-Tard has a dominant position in North America, it only has about 5% of market share in the US, which means it leaves a lot of spaces to become the prime location for customers and also to grow from acquisition. So they have like both organic and acquisition opportunities still in the United States, where we could have thought, well, you know what, we're pretty much full here and we have to go outside of the country. But no, they can still stay in Canada and the US and grow anyway. They have lined up a pretty solid plan to grow organically. This obviously includes to play on their premium location and on their branding. They want to increase the numbers of people using a loyalty program so they can know a little bit more about their customers. Those loyalty programs are just a magic bullet for a lot of companies. If you look at Starbucks, they have like nearly 30 million people using their loyalty membership to buy their coffee. Well, then it gives the company, when people are buying stuff, what are they buying, what is the price, and all the movement they can do. So it gives them a lot of opportunities to improve, to bring new merchandise, and they will focus on those high margin adult restricted, age restricted products such as tobacco, alcohol. We may think about cannabis at one point. So you have plenty of organic growth opportunities there. And on top of that, they already know that they're selling a lot of gasoline, but now they're installing superchargers. So they have this goal to install a bunch of superchargers across North America to convince people to say, you know what, I know you have a Tesla now, but still you can go to Couche-Tard or Circle K in the US, plug it in, take it good half an hour to charge, while go back inside, eat some snacks, buy a few things, and then you can go back on the road and you will have paid for the supercharge, and you will also paid for the convenience store goods. Speaking of superchargers, a lot of people think, oh yeah, but that is just like something they think is gonna work out. Well, not exactly. They are actually a leader convenience store in Norway, the country where you have the most electric vehicle on the planet per capita. 14% of their vehicle fleet are electric vehicle. And even then, when you think about that, they're a leader, only 14% of all cars are electric there. So you may think that we're going towards a world full of EVs, but it's not going to happen tomorrow morning. There will be a smooth transition between the gasoline towards to the superchargers, and throughout this transformation, they are already using their laboratory in Norway to understand consumer behaviors, to upgrade their services and make sure that they will please those customers so they can come back and buy even more goods. So now you may think, by looking at the dividend triangle, you may think, well, Mike, yeah, that's a nice narrative. You made your point. Alimentation Couche-Tard is a great company, but it's a company that is trading at all-time high or pretty much close to it. So the chances of losing money on this one is probably higher. Well, I think you are wrong, my friend. First, because the company has a lot of growth vectors. Second, because that company is recession resilient. So while everything else is going down, well, a lot of people will turn and look for those companies that can go through a recession and still report some growth. If you look at the earnings and the revenue are still growing. And what I really love is management is telling us that their goal is to double their profit again. So they have this very aggressive thinking. They're already proactive on multiple ways to create values for shareholders. It shows on the stock price trend, but it also shows on the dividend trend. So you can think of this company as a growth stock. It's definitely not going to pay your utility bills unless you invest a lot of money in Couche-Tard. So the low yield is a downside, but besides that, I don't see much. But besides that, I don't see many reasons not to put a $2 on Alimentation Couche-Tard. Obviously, this is not a buy or sell recommendation. I urge you to do your due diligence. Alimentation Couche-Tard fits in my portfolio. That's why I have it, but it may not fit for your portfolio. All right, guys. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Let me know about the contrarian thesis. Like, why would you be selling Couche-Tard, or why would you not invest in Couche-Tard? I'm curious to know about all the downsides you can find about this company. That could make a great discussion in the comment below. And until the next week, don't forget to always stay invested.